All right, good morning and welcome. I'm Dan Bach of Roto Grinders, and we, of course, are going to give you a quick tutorial here today as we move into week 4 of the NFL season on how to use our lineup builder and script tool. Absolutely free to you here on rotogrinders.com. And I've been using it the last couple of weeks, and I have to say, it sure as hell beats basically hand picking 50 lineups. You can do it really easily, and we're going to kind of show you here how to do it because I don't know if a lot of people are using this tool, and it's really cool. Even if you just want to use it to kind of set the basis of your lineups, and then you can go in and cherry pick and edit them up, that works as well. But here we go. Let's kind of jump into it, and I'm going to be using the screen share tool during this tutorial, and that'll give you a good idea of what I'm doing here on screen, and hopefully you enjoy it. Maybe we'll do more of these as the year goes on. Just a quick little thing to keep in mind, less about the picks than more about the process of using this tool. I'm going to enter these teams, so the teams that I'm making are ones that I'm going to be playing, but it's not necessarily about the analysis here of all these players, but I'm going to show you my process and how we do this. Everybody kind of does it a little bit differently. So let's get into it. Let's build like 50 teams here in like 10 minutes or so. So let's do it. All right, let's get you the screen share here, and we are going to take a look at, let's see, I think this is the one we want. And all right, hopefully this is, whoa, everything is going crazy. Let me do this again. That's not what we want, I don't think. Let's see. It's been a while since I used Hangouts, so just bear with me. Here we go. This is what we want. Okay, we are going to be using our lineup builder. Now, first thing you need to do when using lineup builder is make sure that you get the extensions that we have for Roto Grinders. So if you're using Chrome, what you need to do is just go to the Chrome web store. Just kind of Google that up, and then go to the search apps and type in Roto Grinders. And there you will see the Roto Grinders FanDuel tools, the Roto Grinders DraftKings tools. You have to download them. They're absolutely free, and then just basically enable them on your extensions, and then you're good to go. You can't you can use the lineup builder without them, but you can't actually have the games be entered in a tournament on FanDuel or to your My Lineups page on DraftKings without that. So that's first and foremost if you want to use the script. Back to the lineup tools itself. Again, you can find lineup builder right up here, and this is the page that we get. We're going to be building teams for the 1 o'clock start. So first things first that we want to do, we don't care about the Jets. We don't care about the Dolphins. So we want to X those guys out. So that's first and foremost. Now we're going to go to the filters, so you can take a look and see what you need. I don't really use the fantasy points sliders. What I do is go through every single player. It might sound like a lot, but it really doesn't take that long. So that's the way that I'm going to do it. So that doesn't really concern me too much. Now in the settings here, you can choose the number of lineups you want to make. So if you want to make 20, you want to make 100, doesn't matter. We're going to go with the nice round 50. Speed versus accuracy. Typically, I go the more accurate. We're going to kind of go right down the middle on this one. Minimum salary, that's how much of the salary cap we want them to at least use. 49,000 is fine for me. And the variability, this basically means it'll build your team, and basically when you have an open spot, it will decide, is it going to use the top projected point player in that spot, or is it going to vary? Now, I think this is more useful for FanDuel when you look at kickers and whatnot, where I think you want your variability, pretty high because there is a whole lot of variance in that position to begin with. This is actually not going to be relevant with the way that I use lineup builder, because I basically just have a pool of all the players that I want used. So variability doesn't really matter because everybody that's going to be entered is going to be people that I picked. So for me, for my purposes, it doesn't really matter. But if you don't want to rate every single player, probably the best idea is kind of putting it right in the middle so you get a good mix. All right, so those are the settings. Now let's get to the actual players, and we go to player pool, and here we go. We can look at the player pool, and this is where it gets a little bit interesting. We're going to start with quarterbacks here, and again, like I told you before, I am going to rate every single player here, and we'll go through it. And basically, if you're a guy like Max Dullery and you want somebody in every single lineup, you know, he had Randall Cobb in 500 lineups this past week in the Millionaire Maker. I cannot do that. I'm not going to put all my eggs in that one basket. But if you wanted to, all you have to do is click that lock button and boom, they are set in. I am not going to lock anybody in, so that's nothing I need to worry about. But what I am going to do is favorite a lot of players. This is going to be kind of how I build the basis of my lineup building. And when you do that, when you click the favorite, you get to see how basically let the system know how much you like a player, how much exposure you'd like to that player within your lineup. So you can go high up to 90%, low 10% or less. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to rate all the players that I somewhat am interested in, obviously more than others. And then the ones that I don't want, I'm just going to put an X next to. So let's go through it. We'll start with Andrew Luck. And here's the thing to remember, too. You know, here we go. Andrew Luck didn't practice yesterday. And I think he's in a great matchup here versus Jacksonville. He's probably going to be under-owned. But I still am going to give him low to mid exposure. Obviously, we're going to know ahead of time if he doesn't play. And if that's the case, we can easily take him out of our lineups, you know, over there on DraftKings. But I'm going to give him mid exposure. Russell Wilson against Detroit. I'm okay with this matchup. Again, I think he'll be under-owned. Home game, I'm going to give him mid. Tyrod Taylor, I think he's going to be popular, so I'm going to give mid here. A guy like Matt Ryan, he and Julio Jones, always a solid combination. We're going to go low exposure. Peyton Manning, we are going to go low exposure. Drew Brees, I'm not really interested in here against Dallas. I know he might play this week, but I'm just going to give an X there. Andy Dalton against the Chiefs. I'm not buying the Dalton train here again this week, so I'm going to X him out. Carson Palmer, we're going to give him low exposure. Blake Bortles against the Colts, no thank you. Colin Kaepernick, believe it or not, I'm going to put him at low exposure this week. He was like 0.2% owned on FanDuel. And again, we're running this in a $3 queue. So I'm not building a cash game here. I'm looking for some, you know, flyers off the wall, and I don't have a problem putting Kaepernick in there for that reason. Phil Rivers against Cleveland, not a bad spot potentially for him. We'll go low to mid. Sam Bradford, I wish the weather was good there because I think he's actually going to have a decent game. But the weather might not be as bad as some expect. So we're going to go medium exposure on Bradford. Derek Carr, probably going to be one of the more popular plays this week, but it's hard to pass up on him against Chicago. Eli Manning against Buffalo, no thank you. And this is where it gets a little bit quicker and easier, where you just can X some guys out. Kirk Cousins, not interested. Jameis Winston against Carolina, not interested. Alex Smith, not interested. Matt Stafford, no. Teddy Bridgewater, no. Ryan Mallett, no. Brandon Weeden, no. Josh McCown, no. Nick Foles, no. Jimmy Clausen, definitely not. Cam Newton, we're going to give him some mid exposure here. And then Aaron Rodgers, we're going to give him mid to high exposure. So this is basically the group of quarterbacks that are going to be used in my 50 lineups, and they're going to be varied. But this is it. So this is kind of how I pare it down. Next, we'll go over to the running back position. And again, Matt Forte, I love him this week on DraftKings. He's a really low price. You look at Oakland, they've given up more yards receiving, or excuse me, more receptions, I believe, to the running back position over the last couple of years than anybody, and they have nobody else. So I'm going to go high exposure on Forte today. Murray, I think, is going to be a little bit over-owned. I'm going to go low to mid on him. Adrian Peterson, low to mid. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just forget Adrian Peterson against Denver. I'm not going to do it. He's just going to be cleared. Jamal Charles will go low to mid on him against Cincinnati. Foster, I'm not sold yet that he's going to be playing. This is another one of those situations where if he does play, I'll probably go in and add him some in this great matchup versus Atlanta, but can't do it today. Joe Randall against New Orleans, we'll go low exposure on him. Marshawn Lynch, don't know if he's going to play. If he is out, Thomas Rawls at 3K is really, really appealing, but we're definitely not going to pay 7.2 for Lynch here. Eddie Lacy has been practicing. Matchup versus San Francisco is all right. We'll go a low exposure on him. Carlos Williams, he's going to be really popular. I mean, really, really popular. And yes, there is some reason to fade him today. But that salary at 3.4K is just too good, I think, to pass up. So we're going to go mid to high exposure on him. Devontae Freeman at 5.2, maybe chasing a little bit, but look the part. We'll go low to mid. DeMarco Murray, I'm going to X out. Definitely no Eagles running backs for me. Ingram, I kind of like this week, potentially here against Dallas. Frank Gore against Jacksonville. We'll go low to mid. So, again, Melvin Gordon. Love me some Melvin Gordon this week. Going to give him high exposure on my teams, and hopefully it pays off. Low to mid on Carlos Hyde, TJ Yeldon, we're going to X out. Andre Ellington, I don't trust. CJ Anderson. Jonathan Stewart in Carolina. Again, another interesting situation against Tampa Bay. Stewart hasn't practiced yet this week. If he is out, it's going to be like Fozzie Whitaker and Cameron Artis-Payne potentially. So I'm just going to X him out for now. Lance Dunbar, no thank you. Jeremy Hill, maybe a bounce back game for him. We'll go low exposure. Chris Johnson at 4.5, no. Crowell, no. Woodhead, no. Bernard, no. Sproles at 4.5, too expensive, no thank you. Matt Jones against Philadelphia. We'll actually go some low. You know what? Forget that. I don't trust Matt Jones. We're going to go nothing on him. Again, this is just my makeup in terms of how we're building these teams here. Doug Martin against Carolina. We'll go low exposure there. Alfred Morris, no. Rashad Jennings, no. Ryan Matthews, no. Vereen at 4.3. We'll go low exposure there. Thomas Rawls, I really like him. I want to play him, but I just don't know what's going to happen this week. So until I do, I'm going to put him no. Amir Abdullah, no thank you. Hillman, Bell, Spiller, Reddick, Tolbert, Sims, Jackson, Gurley, Grimes, Cunningham. Yeah, see all these guys, no thank you. But you know what the problem is here? I don't think I've used enough players. And I'll show you what we're going to do here to rectify this problem. I'm not interested in pretty much any of these guys here on the bottom tier for my teams this week. So I look at that and I say, yeah, running backs, that's good, but that might not be good enough. So we're going to go back to our excluded lists and add a few of these guys who I deleted because I think I need more potential variance in my lineup. So with that, we will add Adrian Peterson back to the list. We will add, oh man, I don't like many of these guys. Danny Woodhead back to the list. And all right, so let's go back to our go back to running backs, and we'll go Peterson, add him to the low exposure. Woodhead to the low to mid, and Giovanni Bernard. We're just going to delete him. So there we go. Here's my running backs. Next up, we'll go to the wide receiver spot. And let's see, we've got, and again, this is all the price per points and everything you can see on here. I'm not going to go Willie Snead, not going to go Julio or Roddy White. Julio Jones we like, of course. ODB we like. Randall Cobb we love this week at 7.4. We'll give him mid to high exposure. Demarius I like this week. AJ Green, not super high on, but again, these are just the exposure that I want on these players. So here we go. Emmanuel Sanders will go low. DeAndre Hopkins, I'm actually fading him this week against the tough corner there in Trufant. Jordan Matthews, kind of high on him. Weather does worry me. Amari Cooper, really high on this week. We'll give him full exposure. Hilton, I like. Moncrief, I'm okay with. Allen Robinson. So again, this is just rating these players here for my teams. Going to do a fade on Calvin Johnson against Seattle. James Jones, Mike Evans against Carolina. Alshon, no thank you. Macklin, no thank you. Cooks will go low exposure there. And again, this just kind of sets our stage for our lineups. Garcon, we can go low exposure there. Stevie Johnson, low. Hearns, no. Baldwin, no. Bolden, no. Ginn, no. John Brown, I kind of like this week. Could be sneaky. Could get going. Harvin will go low. No Mike Wallace. Terrence Williams. So, again, this is just setting it up for us. Torrey Smith, we will go low. Crabtree, we will go medium. Hankerson, we will go low. Woods, no. Jackson, no. Kearse, no. Britt, no. Cecil Shorts, no. Marvin Jones. Travis Benjamin. And again, you don't have to do it this way. If you favorite these players, these will be your preferred choices. But for me, I just want to kind of narrow down my my player pool altogether. Ty Montgomery on the low exposure. Nate Washington. Michael Floyd. Golden Tate. No, thank you. Colston, no. Ruben Randall, we're going to put him back in with the potential of Victor Cruz not playing. Floyd, Royal, here we go. Most of these guys are going to be no for me. Aguilar could have his first decent game here this week. Tyler Lockett, Andre Johnson, Philly Brown, Holmes, Hartline. So, yeah, most of these guys not going to make my list here today. Let's see here. We'll just go from the bottom. It's a little bit easier. All right, so here's our group of wide receivers, all favorited, and then we'll do that for the last couple spots here. Tight end, pretty easy. I like Jimmy Graham. Jason Witten, I'm okay with. Charles Clay, I like. Tyler Eifert, we're okay with. Rudolph, low. Martellus Bennett, medium to high. Ebron, no. This week on him. Darius Green, no. I think Barnridge had his career game last week. Not going to do it. Cook, no. Fells, Daniels on the low. Dwayne Allen, no. Ertz, no. All right. Again, we're just going to delete some of these guys out who I'm not too interested in this week. Greg Olson, here we go. Vernon Davis will go low. Mid to high. Jordan Reed. Travis Kelce. All right, so there are tight ends and then team defense. I'm actually just going to leave the team defense and we'll use that kind of variability a little bit. Maybe we'll favorite a couple here that I kind of like. Obviously, you always like Seattle, so we'll put them. I actually like the Chargers this week versus the Browns a good bit. So we're going to go medium to high as an under 3K option. Eagles potentially here in bad weather. Could get some turnovers against Washington. And that looks pretty good. So we'll just leave the rest of them out there to be used as they will. All right, so now we've got our players all selected. It's time to generate our lineup. So here we go. And we wait, and hopefully everything works fine, and we will get all of our lineups here generated shortly. And you can see the little bar right here. In the meantime, and basically what I'm going to do is enter this game in the $3 tournament over there on DraftKings for their qualifier. So, and the lineups are generating, and this is a lot faster than building 50 lineups. Okay, here we go. So we've got our lineups made, and you can see them over here on the right. We got 50 different lineups. And the beautiful thing about this too is if you look at a lineup, you can edit it here on this screen, or you can edit it over there on the DraftKings My Lineups page. So let's see if we can't find an example of a situation that doesn't look too favorable here. Let's see. We will go with, here we go. Here's a decent example of what we can do. We look at this and we say, hey, we've got Eddie Lacy and Aaron Rodgers together. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. That's kind of like a negative correlation. So why would we want those guys? So what we can do is make the edit right here on this page. So we can say, okay, we're going to change Eddie Lacy, and we're actually going to make it Jamal Charles. Actually, we're going to make it Matt Forte. So boom, now we've got Matt Forte in our lineup, and we're good to go. I mean, we like the rest of the lineup. We trust our lineup builder. We trust our picks that we made, and now we're set. So that's something I highly recommend you doing, whether it's on this page or on the My Lineups page, because, again, we haven't perfected it to the point of not having some of those negative correlations in there. We're working on that, and hopefully we get it soon. But you certainly have to kind of look in a few situations because they are going to happen. Now, I'm not going to go through and edit 50 lineups or look through and examine and make sure they're all right at this second. That would take me too long. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to enter them over on DraftKings. So what we do is we go to this export group 1 to .csv. So when you click that, you can see right down here, my generated lineups.csv is ready to go. Now we'll go to my lineups page, and don't look at my bad college football teams from last night. But what you need to do is when you have your enabled Chrome extension, you'll get this little red box or orange box, import lineups. So that's what we want to do. We're going to import lineups, and we've got to pick the game slate that we want. So we're going to go to the NFL 1 o'clock, and then we're going to close it. And let's see. I guess that didn't work. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't add it. So we'll go NFL 1 o'clock. And we'll go upload lineups. Well, we got to choose our file. There we go. And generate lineups right here. Open that up and upload our lineups. So now it goes through and basically we'll successfully add these lineups to our My Lineups page. And this is way faster, boys and girls, than doing this by hand for sure. And you get another, you can look at the differences in the quarterbacks and everything when it's going down here. There's my Kaepernick team out there. Not a whole lot of them, but again, taking a shot in a super large field tournament, maybe not the worst idea out there. A lot of Tyrod Taylor. There's a Bradford team. So again, submitting our lineups onto the My Lineups page on DraftKings. All right, 46 of 50, 47 of 50, 49 of 50. All right, we got them all. So we will now close. And lo and behold, look at 50 new lineups on the My Lineups page. Isn't that sexy, boys and girls? I love it. So obviously the easy thing to do right now is just go to the lobby. Find the tournament you want to enter, the qualifier, click enter, and you've got 51 selected lineups because I had a lineup that I built earlier today, so I guess we'll just include that one, and we'll throw $153 in the hopes of being a World Championship qualifier. So there we go. Boom. 51 lineups entered in less than 30 minutes. So here's what we can do, though, which is kind of cool. So now we can go back to the lineup optimizer and you say, you know what, that was fun. Let me use it over there on FanDuel. So we'll go to FanDuel. And you might want to re-rank your players because obviously the two sites differ in terms of salaries and whatnot. And that's fine. So what we're going to do here is it keeps all your rankings. It's got all of our favorited players and everything else. Now I'm going to change something here. I'm going to actually change the settings. We're going to go generate 20 lineups this time. And we're going to increase our variability a little bit because we've got kickers in here that I freaking hate, but it is what it is. And all right. So now we'll go back to the player pool. And we're just going to leave the rankings for now. And let's go ahead and generate some lineups for FanDuel. So we'll see if we can't get our quick 20 lineups, 25, whatever it was. And then I'll show you how you can enter them in a game over there using our script, which is pretty cool. And again, there is an update for DraftKings where you can actually edit players. I have not messed around with that yet. Just check out our forums. There's something there kind of explaining that process, but it's certainly something that we can do. And let's see here. All right, now we've got our lineups all built here. And basically what we can do is, looks good. You know, again, we can edit them when we get to FanDuel and we want to look at them there. Let's go to export the group to CSV. So there we go. Generated lineups 1. Here we go. Next thing that we need to do is go to FanDuel. And we got to find the tournament we want to enter. We're going to enter the $2 Vegas trip here. So we go to enter. And basically, again, when you have that extension ready to go, you'll see RotoGrinders import down here. So we're going to click this. And now we've got to find the file that we want to use, and that is going to be generated lineups 1. Open that, and we will upload our lineups. So there we go. Quickly, we will have 20 lineups entered over there in the $2 tournament. And who knows, maybe we were on it, and we're going to win trips to Vegas back-to-back weekends to compete for like a gazillion dollars. Or maybe not. But again, it's kind of a fun way to get a lot of lineups and in a quick amount of time. And, you know, honestly, I've talked about it with the script. I think these low-dollar games, this is the best spot to use it for your average player. You know, $1 games, $2 games, 25-cent games. So boom, we've got the got everything made. So close. You go to your upcoming entries, and here we go. Look at that. $2 entry, $2 entry, $2 entry. They're all set up there. Again, let's go through and obviously make some changes where we deem fit, where here we go. Eddie Lacy and Aaron Rodgers together. I don't want that combination together. I think they take away from each other. So you just go in, make your quick edit. We'll take Lacy out. We'll throw in Matt Forte again. That's a solid team. Rodgers, Forte, Peterson, Jones, Marvin, Torrey, Olsen, Bryant, Eagles. It's a winner, boys and girls. Maybe not, but there you go. So that is the look at the lineup builder, and that's how it works. Okay, that's very simply how it works. And I am like totally like technology noob. Like I am not somebody who is very good at technology or whatnot. And if I can use this thing, you can use this thing. And hopefully you enjoyed it. Again, if this was really successful this week, we'll definitely do it again next week. And we'll probably be doing these more anyway. And I've been told that the lineup builder is going to be enabled to be used for a bunch of other sports here in the not too distant future as well. NBA, it's going to be a lot of fun. So there you go. That's your lineup builder tutorial. We built 75 lineups on FanDuel and DraftKings in less than 30 minutes, and I feel pretty good about it. So till next time, thanks for watching. And if you ever have any questions about lineup builder, send support at rotogrinders.com. Nick Slim and the development team have done an amazing job on this product. Always looking for it to improve. So if you've got questions, go for it. Till next time, good luck this week.